Okay. I myself was amazed with the patience that there were so many questions and he was very happily responding to each and every one of them. Yeah. What else? What else did you find good in that session and what do you think could be improved? Hmm? बस उन्होंने क्वेश्चंस का अच्छा जवाब दिया, दैट वाज द गुड थिंग.
One thing that he also shared some of the confidential thing that he was not supposed to share. So he was means taking care of the students' queries also. He was not reluctant that to share any knowledge. So,
Okay, so he shared knowledge that you would not have access to otherwise. That was the reason I invited him, na? Because if you look at my slides, uh, which I have for the NVM sessions, they're pretty old in the sense that they might be dated 2005, 2006. Whereas when he shared stuff, that was very recent. जो 3D memory का, for example, structure he shared. Hmm. Uh, for all practical purposes, 3D memories, 3D NANDs were for the first time introduced in 2012. So they do not exist in my slides. And a lot of things, a lot of other things, facts that he shared, they would not have been possible had I been the only one teaching you. So I can teach you a lot of things about, which are very current and very um, recent for SRAMs because I'm myself an SRAM designer. But for non-volatile memories, I think it was a very, very valuable addition that he brought in because he could bring in that recency thing and what are the real challenges today to all of you. So, what are the real challenges of NAND flash that you guys could sense from that session? The most recent and the most up and coming challenges related to NAND flash that you could sense that day?
Scaling and the related variability due to scaling, due to which you have those errors coming up for which you need various solutions like ECC and all those things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so scaling is a challenge, and then due to scaling, there is increased raw bit error rate, and therefore you need to have error correction code so that even though raw bit error rate is high, you are able to handle stuff better. Okay, you're able to give correct information to the user. Okay, what else?
the fabrication, I think it is not using the most standard MOS transistor. So I think the fabrication will be a different and different mask will be required.
Yeah, so he said 176 layers of word lines were there. He mentioned something to that effect. So 176 layers of word lines to be there means this is a very large, very large. So anyway, VLSI hota hai, but it is super, super VLSI. Do you realize that? That level of control and accuracy in the design part. Okay, what else? What else did you find good in his session? किसी ने रिव्यू नहीं करा उनके सेशन को दोबारा से? सेशन वाज अपलोडेड ना? व्हाट इफ आज सरप्राइज क्विज हो जाती तो? Okay, so that is for you to think about, but I get a sense that you guys liked the session. We will have one more guest lecture. This will be given by Dr. Ashish Kumar, and he's been with ST for something like 20 years now, more than 20 years now, and he will talk about safety and security features in SRAMs. So safety and security features, we need to add safety features and we need to add security features so that we can enable applications like automotive when we talk about safety, and even banking. You do not want your the chip on your credit card. So some of you might have a debit card, some of you might have a credit card, whatever. But if you notice, each one of them has a chip. So you do not want that chip to be hacked and all the money from your bank account to be taken away. Do you? Who wants that? I don't think anyone has that kind of a desire. So we will have Ashish talking about safety and security features and how they are implemented in SRAMs so that they can enable safety and security in applications. Okay, so this will be on next Wednesday from 4:30 p.m. So 4:30 to 6 p.m. on next Wednesday. Please block the date and time. Next Wednesday would be 14th. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, 14th April, 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. We will have a guest lecture by Dr. Ashish Kumar from ST Microelectronics. Okay, so I know that from Kalyan's lecture, some parts of what I wanted to teach you were left out, and that is absolutely fine because it is not. See, he will talk about what is most current and most relevant to NAND flash, and there are some other aspects which I think are important for rounding off and for completing the knowledge that he gave you, and we will look into those aspects today. Is that okay? So in the yesterday's office hours, Rayan, Swapnil, many people said that there were some questions which are pending, and when the questions were asked, I realized that I'm anyways intending to cover them today. So that is what we will cover today. Okay. Any questions that you have, so that if I need to cover something extra, so Rayan and Swapnil did share their questions with me yesterday. But if others have any questions who were not there in yesterday's office hours, please feel free to ask right away so that I can then, well, I've already organized today's lecture, but I can then detail some stuff more.
Sir, I have a basic question with respect to the architecture. Sir, when sir moved from these 2D architecture to the 3D architecture, one thing I could understand was that we are converting the word line into a layer of word line. So one above another, and then there are pillars in between. So, sir, I am confused about that whether those pillars are the corresponding bit lines that are being shorted, or what are exactly like, what?
No, so we discussed this in yesterday's office hours recording. अच्छा मैंने शायद recording कल की share नहीं करी है. You can have a look at that. I made a 3D view. I kind of tried to remake that 3D view. So those pillars are not what do you say, bit lines. So I will point them out to you when we will cover that part today. Okay, but you can also look at yesterday's office hours. Okay. Something else? See, that is what happens if you do not review the previous lecture. And I ask you what to, any doubts from the previous one, you might be clueless. So, okay. So I will share my screen now. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So we talked about in the previous class itself. So in the class before Kalyan's class, we already talked about 3 types of floating gate memory cells: EPROMs, double EPROMs, and flash memory. And we also talked about the read-write the program mechanism and the erase mechanism in it. So we did not really talk as much about the erase as we talked about the program. So we'll do a quick review of how these things are done today. I did not really detail it in my session because I thought that Kalyan might cover it. But since Kalyan did not cover it, we will cover it now. So what we did definitely discuss was that there are these trap regions, these floating polys that are designed, which would trap charge. And how do they trap charge? We talked about the fact that, okay, we apply a very strong positive voltage there, and we apply a source drain differential there so that there is a channel that is formed. As the electron moves from the source to the drain, they gain kinetic energy, and some of them tunnel into this floating oxide. What we did not discuss that day was how to erase. So how erase is done is that to do the erase, you may either apply a negative voltage here or a 0 volts over here, and you will apply a very high positive volt on the source. So what happens is you allow an overlap between the source and the gate, and the electrons would tunnel out. Okay, so program is done through either HCI as I show it in this one, or through FN tunneling. Erase is typically done through tunneling only. Okay, so what is HCI? Yes.
So what do you mean when you say that the source and gate have been overlapped in the previous diagram?
So source and so the source region, the doping of the source region is done in such a way that there is a source region right below the gate also. So typically आपको जब हम MOSFET बना के दिखाते हैं तो हम ऐसा दिखाते हैं कुछ, है ना?
Okay, I get it.
And drain. Over here, what we are saying is that there is an overlap here.
Okay. I thought you were mentioning something related to band gap or something.
No. So we will talk about band gap when we talk about FN tunneling over here. But no, I was not talking about band gap. Okay.
Sir?
Yes.
But this overlap will also present for drain, right? Then.
Yeah, but you apply voltage on the source only, so the tunneling would take place only at the source.
Okay, sir.
If you apply voltage at drain also, then that tunneling will happen through there also, yes. Okay. So we look at various mechanisms of programming or writing into the, or putting charges into the floating gate. So one is electrons, channel hot electrons. As I discussed, we have a very high VDS. As electrons gain energy moving from source to drain, you also apply a very strong VG over there. So there is a vertical field also, due to which electrons get trapped into the floating gate. Okay, this was what we've already discussed. UV radiations also we discussed in the last class, where we said that UV radiations, so this light is thrown. You remember I showed you the package where we had a window over there and a memory inside. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So UV radiation, what you do is you energize the electrons in the substrate region so that they are able to cross the barrier of the oxide layer and enter into the floating gate. Okay. Now FN tunneling is okay. So FN tunneling. So this is tunneling. Do you realize this? This is tunneling where even though there is a semiconductor, there is a insulator there, some electrons actually go and enter into the trap, into the floating gate. FN tunneling is a tunneling, is a type of tunneling where we see that if I bend the bands very significantly, then the barrier thickness reduces. Okay, due to band bending, I am able to reduce the barrier thickness, and therefore electrons can easily move or tunnel across this thin barrier now, thin electrical barrier. So the physical barrier may be still thicker, and you would not have gate leakage for that matter. But this, when you apply voltages in a manner that band bending happens, there is a thinning of barrier close to the substrate or floating gate or whatever, okay, wherever you are applying the voltages. And then what happens is electrons simply tunnel onto that barrier, and as they tunnel there, they simply slide down into the other region. So let's look at it over here again. So what we are doing is we have a silicon, valence band of silicon, and there is the other valence band of polysilicon, let us say, and you want to transfer electrons from silicon to polysilicon. So what do? You apply very high voltage on the other side. Okay, and as soon as you apply that voltage, that side goes down there. So electrons, they see an effectively very thin barrier over here, and they simply tunnel across. Once they tunnel across, they slide down and they get trapped into the floating gate. So this is called FN tunneling, where you are not really giving electrons kinetic energy. So HCI भी tunneling है, but HCI में क्या करा था आपने? You gave a lot of kinetic energy to the electrons, and then you gave a vertical push. Over here, you're not doing that. Over here, you do not really need to have any kinetic energy. You're simply providing this band bending, due to which FN tunneling can happen. Are you able to see this?
So are you saying that we do not need to form a channel over here? I mean, or
channel may still be required because you want good density of electrons over here.
So comparatively, you will apply a lesser voltage at the source or the drain.
Yeah, you do not need to apply that higher VDS. Channel you need, but channel can be formed even without VDS, no? Channel can be formed even without VDS. Do you realize this? Because channel is a property of gate and substrate.
It just needs to have the potential difference across the two.
Yeah, you just need to do the sufficient band bending so that the channel can form. But the current would flow only when there is VDS. So you do not waste current. Okay, in HCI, there would be a lot of current consumption. Do you realize this? Because you have these electrons going at a very high speed. So a lot of electrons are going and they're going at a very high speed. So there will be a lot of current that would be required when you program through HCI. But when you do it through FN tunneling, you do not need that kind of current. You do not need that kind of power. That is the key difference.
I mean, for HCI, you waste power, no? You are applying higher.
Yes.
I'm sorry. For FN tunneling, you will be wasting power, no? You will be applying higher voltage at the gate. उसमें आप 10 volt करते हैं, आप 20 volt कर रहे हो apply. So
yeah, look at it like this. So when you do 20 volts over here, you are charging some capacitor. Once you charge the capacitor, then there is no power consumption.
Okay.
But in HCI, you put 10 volts, so you spend lesser energy in charging the capacitor, but the current that is flowing is directly going down the sink.
Okay, for charging the same capacitor, same voltage use हो गई, फिर बाकी उतने waste है उसमें HCI.
Yeah. ठीक है? So HCI would consume much more power. FN tunneling is more power efficient. Okay. So what is necessary condition for FN tunneling? For FN tunneling, we want very thin gate oxides. And there could be tunneling from electrons in the conduction band, electrons in the valence band, and also hole tunneling in the valence band. Okay, so all these three kinds of tunneling would happen when you have that kind of band bending happening there. Okay, and yeah, so this is just one more view of what is happening there. So you do a lot of band bending, but when it is Gate to source. So you apply minus 12 volts on the gate and 5 volts on the source. But when it is gate to bulk, you apply 0 volt on the gate and 12 volts on the bulk. So why do you need to apply a larger, say 17 volt differential there and over here only 12 volt differential? Why do you want to do that?
Because of the area, means the
Yes,
other source.
because this over here, when you're doing source tunneling only, the area through which tunneling happens is very small. So the time it will take will be much larger. So to speed it up, you say, okay, let a little extra voltage there. Whereas when you are doing it for the entire substrate, to the entire substrate region, this area is larger and you can possibly do well with lower voltages also. So,
So,
yes.
on the previous slide, it was an arrays operation, right?
Yeah. So, arrays, or you may say program.
Achha.
We're talking about tunneling. Okay. So, another way to look at it is you start to apply voltage. When you apply a lot of voltage, then the electron simply tunnels through. Okay. And there are, the tunneling current can actually vary over orders of magnitudes of current. For example, tunneling at V tunneling of something like 35.035 is 2.234 e raised to the minus 1000 per Vox, whereas if you look at the tunneling current at a different value, so यहाँ पे देखो current कैसे change हो जाता है. So the tunneling current actually changes with orders of magnitude as you apply more tunneling voltage. So थोड़ा सा भी tunneling voltage आप high कर देते हो तो you gain a significant amount in speed. So in fact, you remember last time we were looking at what governs tunneling rate. I quickly moved through this slide without really discussing it in detail. But since Kalyan did not discuss it in as much detail, so I thought I would spend some more time on it. So tunneling rate essentially depends on oxide thickness and also the field that I am applying. Are you able to see these? See, what are we trying to do? There are this channel here, there is other thing there, and this is what we want to achieve. Hana? So what would tunneling rate naturally depend on? If you look at it like this, it would depend on the thickness of this oxide, because if this thickness is too much, then I would need to do more bending so that it becomes thin enough in this region. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
So if we can reduce gate oxide thickness, FN tunneling becomes much easier. So these tunneling voltages were given for a very old technology. As I said, these slides that I have, they were dated 2004, 2005 kind of a time frame. So you would notice that today's oxide thickness is of the order of a few nanometers. Okay, not more than that, 2 or 3 nanometers, not more than that. Whereas over here they're talking about 300 nanometers. These are very old slides. Okay. So what additional thing people do? Yes.
So may I ask a question from the previous slide?
Yeah.
So I mean, how will a designer determine the accurate tunneling voltage, given that you might actually have that thickness breakdown and all those things?
Yeah. So you don't determine it, Swapnil. The technology team will tell you.
I mean, okay, but okay. So I mean, they would test that particular device till that voltage, and they will tell you what maximum gate voltage you can apply.
So there are tools, TCAT tools, through which you anticipate. You design your device in such a way that your TCAT tools, you target it through a TCAT tool. Then you fabricate the device, you characterize it, and then you give the models, which could either be paper, which means TCAT tool based, or which could be silicon influenced, which is silicon based.
Okay.
Okay. So this is for every device not just for flash devices and not just for tunneling. Any device, TCAD में उसको पहले design करते हैं. You make the paper models. You see if these paper models give you the desired performance. Only after you are satisfied that they give you the right performance, you go and fabricate. Then you validate that, am I getting what I had targeted? Is my TCAD model accurate enough? Or is my silicon manufacturing precise enough to be able to replicate what I wanted in my TCAD model? And then you make silicon influenced models. Okay? So that is for every device and also for these flash devices. So what we realized was that if the gate oxide thickness is less, your electric field is higher, and as electric field is higher, you can tunnel much more. So if you make oxide thickness small everywhere, so Shakeen is doing the other course. I'm talking about a physical contradiction over here. So if you make your oxide thickness thin everywhere, the leakage increases. Whereas, so to reduce leakage, you want oxide thickness to be thick, but to increase tunneling rate, you want oxide thickness to be thin. Both are very valid requirements from the oxide thickness. So if you apply the inventor principle of local quality, what do? You say that, okay, let me just in a very small region provide the local quality of less thickness. So you do give this kind of a bump, this pointed surface. So what happens? At this pointed surface, the electric field kind of shoots up. So much so that the tunneling current increases multifold and you do not even lose leakage. Okay. So this is, this kind of textured polytunneling is also done. And in fact, this was what was implemented in the initial line, I would say Flotox era, EEPROMs, before Flash came. Before Flash came, because people wanted to have better speeds, so this kind of a poly structure used to be fabricated. Okay, so that they could apply FN tunneling onto the source drain region, and to the source or drain region wherever you want to design this pointed structure, without changing the leakage or without really impacting the manufacturability of the device significantly. Okay.
So what I mean, like this kind of looks very tough to in a way, determine. I mean, like how would a manufacturer know like exactly delta X position say electron would have to tunnel as you change the doping and all the.
So yeah, there would be process. This is about process design and process control. So I know their job is complex, but this was what they did, and it worked. Okay. So how did it work? Let us look at that. So I'm just introducing the read-write operation, the program and erase operation in a Flotox EEPROM, and we will utilize this learning when we talk about NAND operation and NAND architecture, or NOR operation and architecture also. So this is what your regular ROM also looks like, doesn't it? That there is this device which has the programmation, you send the word line to it. There is this control gate bias, which is clock for a regular ROM, and which could be something else for this other thing. And you notice that there are, when you want to program, what do? You byte select, you give byte select signal at VPP, say high voltage, word line at high voltage, and you keep bit lines at 0. So what happens? This is VPP high voltage. So the voltage that appears over here is VPP minus VT. Bit line is at 0. So what happens? Bit line being at 0, you start to see FN tunneling over there, and you're able to trap charge into the control gate. Okay? Then when you want to erase, again you do it through FN tunneling. What do? you say that my byte select will now be 0, my word line will be VPP, and my bit line will also be VPP. So now you've kind of reversed it. So you had 0 over here, word line was VDD, so 0 would get transferred. Now the gate is storing a 0, the bit line is storing VPP, so there is a pull towards the bit line, so electrons would tunnel towards into the bit line, so to say. So you are also able to erase. Are you able to see this? Is this part clear?
So essentially, we are not applying in the programming part any source or the drain voltage in that control gate bias wala transistor, right? Both sides they were 0.
Yes. 0 नहीं कहेंगे उसको स्वप्निल. If you look at it, this was VPP minus VT.
No, in the program part.
Okay. So yes, over here, as I said, आप HCI को नहीं यूज करो, आप FN tunneling यूज कर रहे हो, है ना? अगर आपको HCI यूज करना होता, then you would have required that high voltage.
So
then you would have required a high VDS.
Can I safely say that the electrons instead moving from transistor to from the channel to the gate rather move from the source to from the drain to the gate, जैसे इसमें arrow के through दिखाया गया है?
Yes, that's the tunneling, FN tunneling that you are intending to do. ठीक है? So when you want to read, what do? You say, okay, if I put my bit lines as VDD and word line as VDD, again something would start to happen. So now let me put bit line at VDD by 2. Let me put byte select at VDD. Let me put word line at VDD. So what happens? Now again, you do not end up neither erasing nor programming the cell. You're doing your read operation in a way such that nowhere is there a voltage where tunneling would be initiated. So it is not just program and erase that are designed when the memory cell is designed over there. You also have to design the voltages for the read operation so that the read operation doesn't erase or program the floating gate there. Is that right? आगे बढ़े?
The levels of VDD will depend on the SLC MLC kind of a structure you have, right?
Yeah. SLC MLC नहीं कहेंगे स्वप्निल उसको. VDD would depend on the technology that you're working in.
I mean, how then you? I mean, वो 4 bits suppose read करने ना मेरे को. That's what I was thinking. So
if you remember, what did Kalyan say? Kalyan said that whether you want to read 1 bit or whether you want to read 2 bits or you want to read 8 bits.
Yeah.
This VDD scale does not change.
Yes. I remember that.
So it is not on SLC MLC that you will get the VDD layer, VDD value there. VDD is defined by the technology कि आपके gate oxide क्या है, reliability क्या है, all those things. Power कैसे आपको target करना है, reduction. All those things would define the VDD.
So by applying the VDD, we would over here read the highest level. I mean, 0 1 stored है तो 1 read होगा इधर.
मैं तो हमेशा okay, so look at it like this. Word line पे हमेशा VDD ही apply करेंगे, byte cell पे हमेशा VDD ही apply करेंगे, bit line पे VDD by 2 ही देंगे. याद है पिछली बार what did we say? When there are more than 1 bits, so अभी हम देखेंगे थोड़ी देर में दोबारा से. When there are more than 1 bits, then what happens? All that you need to do is you need to have a more accurate sense amplifier or a more a wider sense amplifier which would measure currents. याद है हम word line को धीरे-धीरे raise कर रहे थे. I've put that slide again. We will review that again. Okay, na little while.
हाँ, word line program current read mode and the voltage read mode.
Yeah. ठीक है? We will do that again.
ठीक है.
So now that was EEPROM where we said that FN tunneling से ही सब कुछ हो रहा है. But in the flash EEPROM, you could, as we discussed, you could also program through HCI, or we could program through, as discussed, FN tunneling. So this is programmation through HCI, जहाँ पे आपने एक source drain voltage भी लगाया and then you are programming. But you could also program through FN tunneling where you apply much larger voltage, but no current. Both are at 0. And by applying that very high voltage, you're able to enable this tunneling. Okay. Erase operation, again, you just apply the voltages in the opposite direction. You have minus 18 volts over here. Or you could apply, if you want to erase a bigger block, you would apply a positive voltage on the other side. So do you realize I used the word that अगर आपको एक बिट नहीं इरेज करना, बहुत सारी बिट्स इरेज करना है, तो जितने भी चीजें वो सबस्ट्रेट शेयर कर रहे हैं उन सबको आप एक साथ इरेज कर सकते हो, है ना? So what are we talking about? We're talking about architecture now. So if we architect our memory in such a way that we can gain either in time or speed or something by sharing some stuff, we would want to do that. So let's look at NOR flash architecture first. This is simple. So if you notice with the EEPROM also, I started with a NOR kind of an architecture, but because NOR architecture is simpler to understand. NAND is a little more complex. So we'll come to that just later. So 2 slides later. ज़्यादा दूर भी नहीं. So what is NOR flash architecture like? Like a simple NOR memory. You have these source lines running. You have word lines going to the gates of the control, to the floating gate devices. And these floating gate devices are also directly connected on the other side to the bit line. You see, these are the bit line connections. So when you select a word line, what happens? If there is a programmation done, then the bit line would discharge. If the programmation is not done, then the bit line would not discharge. And therefore you will say, I have read a 0 or I have read a 1. Is this clear? We are repeating it so many times now. Is this clear? Any questions? तो लगता है मैं बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाता हूँ, कोई सवाल ही नहीं आते हैं. So, आगे बढ़े? Okay. So what essentially are we doing? We are saying that unselected bit lines, unselected word lines are at 0, selected one is at, say, some voltage. We simply measure the current, and based on that we say whether it was a 0 or a 1 stored in that place. Now, to read or write into the memory, for example, if you want to erase, you would put -10 on the word line, and on the bulb you will put 6 to 8 volts. So what happens? Electrons from the floating gate will be repelled and they will go into the bulk. Okay, so VT would reduce. When you want to program, what do? You put a very high voltage, positive voltage on the word line, and you apply, let us say, 5 volts on the bit line, and through FN tunneling again, you're able to trap charges into the gate, floating gate, and then therefore you program the cell. The read operation, almost VDD by 2 on the bit on the select word line, and 0.7 volts on the bit lines, so to say, and you simply read. In this situation, there will be no condition when, so in the read operation, there will be no condition when tunneling or hot carrier rejection can happen. Okay. How does a NOR layout look like? So NOR layout looks like, this is the programmed gate, this is the source line, green one, and you see that these word lines, these control gate lines are pretty close together. They're at the minimum poly pitch for that matter. So what happens is that when you put NOR cells in an array form, What you need to do is you need to design a row decoder in one polypitch. In one polypitch, you need to design a row decoder and generate the word line for this. This is not really possible. So what do you do? Okay, so we will come to that in a little while. So these are the two views of the same cell. One is along the bit line, the other one is along the word line. And when you see along the word line, you notice that there are these gates which are coming, and you're able to program these cells over here. When you look at the bit line side, you see those floating gates in this manner. Okay, so what do you do? Because आपके अब जो word lines हैं, they have come very close, and you really cannot make a row decoder in that region. So what do? You put row decoders on both the sides. One set of row decoders generates one set of bit lines and the word lines, and the other row decoder generates the other word line. Okay, so कौन सी word lines कौन कर रहा है? You just change the LSB of the row address. You use to select which exec will be selected, and the word line would either come from here or from here. So this way you're able to make a row decoder because the pitch available in your memory cell is very small. Similar things are done for the NAND flash also. Okay, so you make this row decoder, and sorry, these are the bit lines. You have a large number of them, multiple blocks, so block 0 and so on. So the multiple blocks to be able to store lots of data in your flash. Are you able to see this? Like we've seen similar structures for DRAMs and SRAMs, so I'm moving slightly fast. But is it fine? Are there any questions?
हेलो सर।
Yes.
सर ये हमने जो दो पैरेलल डिकोडर्स लगाए दोनों बिट लाइंस के अक्रॉस, सर इसका सिग्निफिकेंस एक बारी कैन यू रिपीट दिस अगेन, दिस पार्ट?
So first thing, it is not around 2 bit lines. There are 512 bit lines in this case. If you notice, BL1 and BL512 लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे.
Yes, sir, 1 to 5.
So it is not one bit cell that you're applying these two row decoders across. You're applying these two row decoders across two sides of the array.
Arrays.
Okay. Why did you need to go into two decoders which were physically spaced apart? So you need not have done it like this. You could have actually made both the decoders right here. One could have generated word line 0, the other could have generated word line 1, word line 2, word line 3, word line 4, word line 5. ऐसा भी आप कर सकते थे.
Yes, sir, एक साइड ही रखे.
Yeah, but that would make it asymmetric, na? Asymmetric in the sense that the word line 1, 3, 5, they are seeing some extra load.
Yes, sir, different loads taking in.
Yeah. So you instead made them like this, so that the word line generated from this side and the other pair of word lines come from that side. So all the word lines see the same load then. Okay,
sir,
is that okay?
Yes,
yeah.
Sir, yes. Sir.
Okay. So multi-bit read operations, again, as I said, we will review that again once. So there could be current mode read, where you say that, okay, I've applied this kind of voltage on the word line. What is the current flowing through my memory cell? So this is current mode read, and this would require you to sync, three, or at least have 3 or 4 sense amplifiers, which would sense or which would compare the currents IC1, IC3, and IC4, and say whether we have a 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1 stored there. So would you want to store 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, or something else? How would you call these levels? Kalyan talked about it that day.
Gray coding.
Yeah, you would do gray coding there, so that even if there is some error somewhere, there is only one bit error that is introduced, and you could correct it through ECC. Okay. So you have these 4. So you could have 4 sense amplifiers of 4 different currents, or you could say that I have one current IC that I want to see, and I want to see at what world line voltage I'm able to get that current. Through that, you will be able to ascertain whether what is the VT of the cell that is being read. So this was also a structure that we discussed last time. ये clear हुआ था उस दिन आप सबको, या you want me to go through this again?
तो मुझे तो बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ.
Okay, what about others?
No, sir, it was not clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us have a look at the structure again then. Okay. So what is happening? What we want is that there should be some current flowing through the like there is anyway some current that is flowing through the memory cells, and we want to see what kind of current that is. So हम जा रहे हैं इस mode में. We're going into this mode where we have some current that we want to limit at, and we want to see what voltage that current is coming at. So this is IBL, the current coming through the bit line, and there's a bit line limiter applied there where we do not want to increase this current too much. Okay. Through this bit line, so when this current is flowing, we make that as a part of, what do you say, a current mirror, and we reflect that cell current as KIC over here. K times, we multiply it K times. K could be 2, 3, 5, whatever you want. Okay. So you reflect that current as KIC over there. And you also had some reference current that was being synced. Now, let us say that at a given world line voltage, this KIC is 0. What would happen? The entire IR would come from ID. Are you able to see this? If KIC is 0, entire IR will come from ID. Is this thing evident to you?
Sir, evident.
Now, for ID, you have another current mirror. So if this current is high, there is another multiplication, HID, that is happening, okay, which is going to control the row decoder. Now, when it so happens that KIC is equal to IR, what would happen? ID will go to 0. ID goes to 0 means there is no current that is being sunk from here, that is being sent from here. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
So what happens? Your output current goes towards 0, and as soon as you notice that, you switch off the row decoder. You say, okay, no further increase in the row decoder voltage, world line voltage there. Okay? See, look at this side. What did we want here? We wanted that I measure what world line voltage I am able to sink this kind of current, and then once I have that voltage, I will know what is stored on that particular cell. Hai na? That is what we are saying. So now we have that voltage generated over here like this. Are you able to see this?
So why is it going towards the row decoder? Shouldn't it go towards kind of the sense amp? I mean, the sense amp has to detect 4 levels of voltage.
नहीं, बट रो डिकोडर को आपने ऑफ करना है ना, ताकि वर्ड लाइन को और ना बढ़ाए, क्योंकि अगर इस सेल के लिए वर्ड लाइन की वोल्टेज और बढ़ती गई, तो it will naturally try to sink more current. Even if you have a bit line limiter provided there will be more current consumption. You say, okay, I've sensed that VT4 was the voltage there. threshold voltage there, and I stopped increasing this particular thing more.
So I mean, like, I have a doubt now actually. I mean, like, on the previous slide we were saying that कि read bit line read करने के लिए read bit line हमारी VDD by 2 पे थी, word line हमारी VDD पर थी, है ना? और यहाँ पे हम कह रहे हैं वो हम लोग उस voltage को gradually increase कर रहे हैं word line की.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. So जो यहाँ पे हम कह रहे थे VDD by 2 और उस पे then we were probably going for this kind of current mode read.
अच्छा, ओके, ठीक है.
Because आपने कोई voltage दिया, आपने current measure कर लिया, उससे आपको पता लग गया. But suppose you wanted lesser power, then you would go to this, which is slower, but lesser power.
I mean, okay, I get that now. So it's kind of like a feedback loop जहाँ पे वो IC जो mirror करके बार-बार उसको road deck को बताएगा कितना level से बढ़ानी है आपको word.
Exactly.
ठीक है.
So now we come to the NAND flash memory architecture. Any other questions from the previous one? Okay. So now we come to the NAND flash part. आप लोगों के कोई assignment वगैरह है क्या? I see very few students in the class today.
I mean, कल ही deadline खत्म हुई तो probably.
कल कौन सी deadline खत्म हुई है?
VDS की थी deadline तो एक तो मुझे पता है VDS की.
Okay, there was some deadline of VDS yesterday, so people are relaxing today, sleeping, huh?
कल एक क्विज का भी डेडलाइन था और आज एक होमवर्क का डेडलाइन.
Oh, so some are doing the homework now. Okay. ठीक है. So anyways, मैं तो पढ़ा रहा हूँ, आप whoever is not there, they are missing, not me. So this is about the NAND. You might be seeing this structure and you may think that this is very similar to the NAND ROM. है ना? So what do we do in the NAND ROM? The word line that you want to, or the cell that you want to read, for that the word line is maintained low. For the others, the word line goes high. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes, sir.
So we will do something similar over here also. Now what we are looking at over here is, if you notice, I'm talking about 15 word lines. जब हम CMOS ROM की बात कर रहे थे तो आपको याद है, I said okay, NAND में 4-5 से ज़्यादा stacking आप कैसे करोगे? But over here we are talking about so many word lines. Why so?
To achieve high density.
Okay, achieve high density is the purpose. How am I able to do it? I was not able to do it for a regular CMOS ROM.
अच्छा, आप यहाँ पे anyways high voltage apply करोगे ना, so that
Yes.
stacking effect will not be prominent.
Because we are using very high voltages over here.
Yes.
Therefore, you can do this kind of stacking. So in the slides that Kalyan showed, what has now, so this is planar NAND flash. So what Kalyan showed was that, okay, we have planes of word lines now. In a 3D flash, you have planes of word line. And then what do the pillars represent? Pillars represent these interconnects between two different planes. Are you able to see this, Gagandeep? You asked this question. The pillars in that cartoon that Kalyan had showed represent these nodes. Okay.
Sir, but the means one column bit lines were shared through that pillars at the bottom.
So bit lines were there like this, है ना? So entire pillar structure would come and it would connect to this. So there is this bit line. The entire pillar structure would come and connect to the bit line.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, in the lecture which sir was discussing that day, he was like, when he was showing the bit lines, I mean, he was showing it with his pen. So उसमें he was showing कि bit lines were running parallel to the plane of the word line.
हाँ, तो word lines are here ना.
हाँ, so I mean मेरा उस दिन भी डाउट था कि
Word
बिटलाइन
lines are
पैरेलल कैसे
these.
दौड़ा रहे हैं. हाँ,
नहीं
ये
नहीं
ठीक है,
नहीं
ठीक है.
नहीं.
हाँ, हाँ,
Word lines are these planes.
टैग्स. यस, यस, यस.
आपने अलग डायमेंशन में मूव कर दिया ना. You are now in 3D.
So this plate or the square kind of a thing represents one word line.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So
this,
basically all the
this
cells on
square
this.
is talking about all the cells that are there on this one word line. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I can see it now.
प्लेनर स्ट्रक्चर में ये ऐसे ही जाते थे बस. अब आपने 3D कर दिया, आपने इनको स्टैक्स को मल्टीपल डायमेंशंस में ऐड कर दिया, आप डेंसिटी और बढ़ा दिया आपने. ठीक है.
तो मतलब अब सर ये जो जितने भी वर्ड लाइन जो जितने भी सेल मुझे दिख रहे हैं सब एक ही पेज के अंदर होंगे.
We will just come to that. There one block. पेज क्या होता है? We will just talk about. यहाँ पे नॉमेनक्लेचर, ब्लॉक, पेज वगैरह का थोड़ा सा फर्क हो जाता है. आगे बढ़े.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, for DRAM, the structure by default it is a planar, na, for word line.
DRAM, yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if you look at the NOR memory cell and the NAND memory cell, the key difference is density, है ना. NOR के अंदर क्या था? You had this kind of a structure where every cell was connected to the bit line and the word line also. Over here, every cell is connected to the word line, but on the other side they are connected to another cell, another floating gate kind of a device. So what happens over here, if you notice, there is this requirement to put contacts, which is no longer needed for NAND flash, and therefore NAND flash is much denser. Okay, so look at this structure. This is the kind of closest poly pitch that you would talk about. This talked about 16 cells. How many word line layers did Kalyan talk about in the cartoon that he showed?
176.
176. So यहाँ पे हम खाली 16 दिखा रहा हूँ मैं अभी, but today the state of the art, as he told us, was 176 layers. So what do these 176 layers or these 16 cells represent? Let us look at it like that. So this is other cross-sectional views of the same cell. So this we already discussed with Kalyan that day. I'm not going to cover that again, but given that this is how the program and erase happens, if you have a NAND flash, see उस दिन कल्याण ने इतना क्लियरली या इतना डिटेल में शायद आर्किटेक्चर of the cell नहीं डिस्कस करा था, voltages around नहीं डिस्कस करा था. That is why I'm spending some time on those voltages and connectivity over here. So I have 32 memory cells. Of those 32, I want to, let us say, program this one. Okay. So what do? For all the other remaining, I put VPass on the word lines. I put 10 volts. So 10 volts, it will not lead to any programmation. 18 volts will lead to programmation. So when I am programming on bit line 0, the cell encircled in this blue one, when I'm programming here, then for this particular bit line, I will put 0 volts on the bit line, 18 volts here, and 10 volts on the pass transistors. So what happens? It is 10, this is 0, they are NMOSes, this 0 would get transferred over there completely, and there will be FN tunneling over here. Okay. Whereas I do not want to program every cell in the particular word line. I would if I have a word line, I would want to write different data on different cells. So when I do not want to program it, when I do not want to trap charges there, I know that 10 volts पे tunneling नहीं होती, है ना? क्योंकि 10 volts पे tunneling नहीं होती, I put 8 volts on the bit line now. Now that 8 volts gets transferred over here. For this particular device, now the source has 8 volts. The source drain both have 8 volts, whereas the gate has 18. So what happens? यहाँ पे 18 है, यहाँ पे 8 है. Effective difference is 10 volts. No tunneling would happen, no program erase would happen, and I am safe. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Sir, 10 volt on the other pass transistors was needed just to transfer that full zero.
Yeah, so that I could transfer this 8 also easily.
Acha.
Let us say I need 18 volts over here.
Ah.
I need 18 volts over here to program. So to not program, I need to pass some voltage over here, ना? मेरे को पता है 10 पे fail नहीं होता, तो मैंने इनको 10 दे दिया, and I could then pass 8 volts easily.
Yeah, वो 8 volt वाला नहीं दिखा. I thought 0 volt थे तो 10 volt से कम में भी काम हो जाता. नहीं.
Yeah, but 8 volts also needs to be transferred.
हाँ.
ठीक है?
Sir, may I ask a question? I had it from Kalyan sir lecture also. I mean, I guess he forgot explaining it that day. I was asking him that उनकी slide पे लिखा था NAND में random access नहीं हो पाता, NOR में हो जाता है. वो अभी आपने भी दिखाया था शायद एक slide पे भी. तो उसका reason exactly क्या रहा?
We will just come to it. We'll just come to it. अभी दिखेगा आपको.
ठीक है.
अभी when I will look at more page and block and everything, then you will see कि हाँ क्या बात कर रहे हैं हम. ठीक है? Are you able to see this? कि आपने 10 लगाया, 18 लगाया और आपका यहाँ पे प्रोग्राम हो गया. दूसरी तरफ ताकि ना प्रोग्राम हो, there is another scheme. अभी यहाँ पे क्या था? 8 वोल्ट आपको एडिशनल जनरेट करना पड़ना था. There are people who talk of other schemes also. So what they say? Okay, I want to inhibit programmation on the other cell. So what do? I turn SSL off. Initially VDD, then I turn it off. So when it was initially VDD, what happens? It is transmitting, connecting 0 over here, but then it goes floating. Then these are floating. All the channels of all the transistors become floating. Now what do? Because V program of 18 volts is applied, electrons from all these channels will come to this one. Okay, so the coupled channel voltage would change and you would be able to prevent writing over here also. So there are ways to reduce power, reduce voltage consumption, reduce power consumption and reduce the number of voltages you need in Flash also. This is again, notice a very old paper. आज इससे भी बहुत ज़्यादा advanced schemes होंगी when you go into the industry. Okay. This part Kalyan already showed. Do you want me to repeat this? There is a command phase because the same bus. See, we have the same bus which talks about address, which talks about command, which talks about data. So by changing these control signals, you are able to enter into command phase, address phase, data transfer phase, and readout phase. Or when you are programming, then you would talk about command phase, address phase, data transfer phase, and then program phase. This part, do you want me to repeat again? This is something we also looked into that when we were talking about DRAMs. एक bus को share करने के लिए क्या करना होता है? There are these control signals which you will use. I know it's okay if I do not go into detail over here again.
Yes, sir.
Because I want to take you to the other part where we have that why no sequential, why no random access here. So are you able to see this? Are you able to see that this is one NAND cell? Hello?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is one NAND cell, and over here you see I have so many bit lines there. 16, more than 16K bit lines over there. आप देख पा रहे हो उसको? Again, you notice there are word line drivers on both the sides because जितना भी NOR में density थी, NAND तो उससे भी ज़्यादा dense है. You simply cannot have one word line drivers on the same side. So word line drivers on both the sides. This much also you're able to see. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this over here is a 32 word line wide memory cell, and all the cells. So when I select any one word line, do you realize that all the cells on that word line will be programmed together?
Yes.
So when you want to do program or erase, you cannot do it on one cell. You do it at a full page level. So all the cells on word line are called a page. Okay. All the cells on a word line are called a page. In this particular example, there are 2112 into 8 cells per physical page. Are you able to see this? See, either acknowledge or ask a question.
Sir, we are saying that selecting a word line programs all the cells on that word line, but I mean inhibiting की यहाँ पे बात नहीं कर रहे हैं वो जो हम लोग पहले थे.
Sorry?
We are not talking about that voltage inhibiting which we were saying on the previous slide.
See, look at it like this. Inhibit, see, at least वो सारे इस word line के सारे cells program mode में आ गए. अब inhibit करने के लिए आपको bit lines को use करना पड़ेगा. But आपको प्रोग्राम करना है तो आप सारे के सारे एक साथ सिलेक्ट होंगे. पूरा पेज एक साथ ऑपरेट करा जाएगा. आप सिंगल सेल पे नहीं कर सकते. इज दिस पॉइंट क्लियर? Entire page will be selected in one go. Then what you write or not write is a different thing. But पूरा पेज एक साथ ऑपरेट करा जाएगा. Is this part clear?
Yes, sir.
And then every block. So this is a block. जो पूरा आपका एक मेमोरी सेल के साथ 32 वर्ड लाइंस का स्ट्रक्चर है, that is a one block. Okay. So पूरा ब्लॉक जब आपको इरेज करना है फॉर एग्जांपल, और आप FN टनलिंग और बल्क से इरेज करने की बात कर रहे हो, तो आप पूरे ब्लॉक का आप बल्क शेयर करके रखते हो और पूरा ब्लॉक एक साथ इरेज होगा. Are you able to see this aspect? छोड़ते हैं अभी. हाँ
सर एक बार रिपीट करेंगे सर ये ब्लॉक वाला.
So 32 सेल्स का जो एक मेमोरी सेल था, 32 फ्लोटिंग गेट्स का जो एक मेमोरी सेल था, that is one block. So that is forming this one full region is one block. So this one is page. 32 pages in this case are one block. When you program one page. When you erase the entire block. Because आप क्या करते हो, आप एक वर्ड लाइंस के ऊपर आपने 0 दिया होता है, आपको इरेज करना है ना, आप बिट लाइन पे बहुत हाई पॉजिटिव वोल्टेज देते हो. तो जो ही आप बिट लाइन पे बहुत हाई पॉजिटिव वोल्टेज दोगे, क्या होगा, सारे के सारे सेल्स एक साथ इरेज हो जाएंगे.
Yes.
Are you able to see this? So that is the reason why we say that in NAND you cannot do random read write or program erase. Full page or full block will be programmed or erased in one go. Is this part clear now?
Sir, I have a doubt. Before I got disconnected, so you said that the page here are the cells which are showing the word line. So in the 3D NAND flash, the page will be the one that plane which sharing
Yes. The page would be there on the entire plane.
Okay.
Okay. Now there are these many sense amplifiers. These many sense amplifiers, and you read half the physical page in one go. The remaining half act as reference bit lines. So जो आपने pages यहाँ से select करे, so what happens is that आपको यहाँ पे read करने के लिए कहीं से reference भी चाहिए. So एक bit line read करते हो, साथ वाली को reference मान लेते हो. Okay, so you have lesser number of sense amplifiers. Essentially, you are reading half the physical page in one cycle. This saves area, this saves power. Are you able to see this? Similarly, when you want to write, you write on half the physical page. So you read and write half the physical page in one go. Okay, and these extra bits are for ECC. ठीक है, यहाँ पे भी थोड़ा सा animation गड़बड़ हो गया. Before I upload the slides, I will correct the animation over here. But ठीक है, so the question about why we cannot do random read write, is that solved now for you?
Yeah, more or less. Huh.
Okay, so if you look at the layout of the same flash, you know, the bit lines are in this direction. They are sense amplifiers over here, and there are word lines going in this direction. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so another, you know, a logical view of the same memory could be seen like this, where you say that you have words and you have ECC there, and जैसे हमने DRAM में कहा था, there is a plane of a register file जिसके थ्रू आप बाद में quickly read write कर दोगे. That similar SRAM, that similar buffer would exist here also.
So the buffer would be essentially SRAM here, or
Yeah, it could be SRAM, it could be DRAM, it could be flops. Typically SRAMs.
okay, sir, for faster read.
Anything faster than NAND flash.
Yeah. ठीक है. Now, what is the impact of different page sizes and block sizes on overall throughput of the memory of the NAND flash? So over here, you will see there are two kinds of page sizes that are used, and this. As the page size changes, block size also changes. है ना? Page size double होगा तो block size भी बढ़ जाएगा. Over here, the block size has increased despite the page size being same. How is it this possible? How is this possible?
SLC, MLC.
Huh?
So levels of programmation, SLC.
Yes, the number of transistors you stack in the NAND cells, you double that in this one. Okay. Are you able to see this? If the number of pages are same, now page size is same, block में double हो गया, मतलब number of pages per block has doubled ना? What was block size? These are all pages on a block in a NAND cell. So if I've doubled the block size, keeping the page size same, what has happened is I have kept more number of cells in the stack there.
So I mean, you have basically more bits being stored na, in the same page.
ना same page तो मैंने कहा ना same size है. In the same cell I have more bits stored.
नहीं, हमने कहा था ना अगर TLC होता है जैसे तो 3 पेज हो जाते हैं, उसमें SLC MLC होता है तो 2 पेज हो जाते हैं, पर
वो अलग बात है. यहाँ पे हम अभी सिंगल ही मान लो, अभी हम MLC और TLC पे नहीं गए। जो ही आप इसको MLC या TLC कर दोगे तो this page size would become 2 times or 3 times and so on.
So then I don't get it कि single click कैसे वो block size बढ़ गया और page size same रहा.
So what is a block?
It's I mean it consists of all the pages. I mean so 32 pages थे तो 32 pages का एक block बनता है.
हाँ, तो अगर मैं वो number of pages in one cell 64 कर दूं तो
In
block
one
size
cell?
double हो जाएगा ना? If this is my one cell which has these many pages, है ना? तो this has कितने? 8 cells. One cell has 8 storage gates.
हाँ.
If I increase this to 16, the page size has remained same. Number of bit lines have not changed. Look at it like this. अगर मैं वहां पे जो word lines की layers थी उनको बढ़ा दूं तो क्या होगा?
Page size बढ़ रहा है.
नहीं, page size तो remain same ना, because word line का मैंने number of word lines बढ़ाई हैं. Word line पे number of bit lines नहीं बढ़ाई.
So पिछली स्लाइड में हमने देखा था जितनी नंबर ऑफ वर्ड लाइंस थी उतना बड़ा आपका वो था ब्लॉक. ये देखो यहाँ पे
हाँ.
32 आपकी वर्ड लाइंस थी.
पेज साइज क्या था? पेज साइज वाज नंबर ऑफ बिट लाइंस.
ओके, अच्छा ठीक है. हाँ.
नंबर ऑफ वर्ड लाइंस वाज माय ब्लॉक साइज. तो मैंने पेज साइज नहीं चेंज करा, मैंने बस नंबर ऑफ वर्ड लाइंस बढ़ा दी.
वर्ड लाइंस बढ़ा दी. ठीक है सर. यस सर, आई गेट इट.
ठीक है. So that is what has been done in this last case. So what happens there? Let us say that read per page was this much. The read per page has remained same, but because page size doubled, performance improved. अब इधर से इधर में पेज साइज तो चेंज नहीं करा, लेकिन क्या हुआ? क्योंकि आपने ब्लॉक साइज वो कर दिया, आपका ब्लॉक साइज डबल हो गया, तो आपका जो इरेज टाइम था वो हाफ हो गया. हाँ, इरेज टाइम हाफ होता ही आपका ओवरऑल थ्रूपुट फर्दर बढ़ गया. आर यू एबल टू सी दिस?
सर हम यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा भी मतलब उसको कंसिडर नहीं करते क्या, जो स्टैकिंग होता है, मतलब जैसे अगर हमने अभी नंबर ऑफ वर्ड लाइंस बढ़ाया तो मतलब स्टैकिंग का तो डिफरेंस आता है, लेकिन अभी यहाँ पर कुछ ऐसा दिखा नहीं.
हम तो बहुत हाई वोल्टेज रखे ना. मोरओवर इसको भी लॉजिकल समझो. एग्जैक्टली वो 15 नैनो सेकेंड की जगह 16 नैनो सेकेंड शायद हो जाए, बट अभी इसको लॉजिकली समझो कि ओके, उसकी वजह से मेरे रीड टाइम में फर्क पड़ सकता है शायद, बट इरेज और इसके अंदर इतनी हाई वोल्टेजेस लगा रहा हूं कि स्टैकिंग इफेक्ट नहीं आएगा. आपका लॉजिकल ही रह जाएगा सब कुछ.
यस सर.
ठीक है.
So what's the difference between the first and the second column, the bar?
द फर्स्ट एंड द सेकेंड बार, आपकी सेकेंड बार में आपकी जो कैपेसिटी है वो आपने डबल कर दी थी.
अच्छा.
है ना? पर पेज जो आपके नंबर ऑफ क्या कहते हैं बाइट्स थी वो सब सेम थी, बट कैपेसिटी डबल कर दी थी. आपकी थ्रूपुट आपने कहीं से थोड़ी सी डबल कर दी थी, तो आपका रीड टाइम थोड़ा सा इंप्रूव हो गया था. बट जब आपने पेज साइज बड़ा कर दिया तो रीड टाइम ऑलमोस्ट हाफ हो गया उससे.
Okay, that capacity got improved by increasing maybe the number of blocks, maybe, or something like that.
माने?
I mean, ये जो 8 MB से 16 MB हुआ, इसमें आपका ब्लॉक साइज अब पेज साइज तो बड़ा नहीं हुआ, तो I mean exactly क्या चेंज हुआ जिससे कैपेसिटी डबल कर दी? I mean more number of blocks basically, right? Or I mean what changed?
हाँ, आपने ज्यादा नंबर ऑफ ब्लॉक्स यूज करे. यस.
और
क्या हो सकता है? आपको अगर कैपेसिटी डबल करनी है, ब्लॉक साइज सेम है, तो ऑल दैट यू कैन डू इज इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ ब्लॉक्स.
या
है ना? ठीक है. So effectively आपके पास अलग अलग एक this is kind of a data sheet of a very old 0.13 माइक्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी की फ्लैश. आजकल फ्लैश बनती है 40 नैनोमीटर में, 28 नैनोमीटर में. And as Kalyan said, they're in 14 FinFET and all those technos also. Okay, so this is very old data sheet, but this gives you a kind of some old numbers. Look at it like this, that read time and program time are much larger than the cycle time over here. And that is because the block size, itna bada block hoga, utna aapka number of reads बढ़ जाएंगे and all those would happen. ठीक है? So, the advantages when you हमने अभी जैसा ग्राफ में देखा, this is the numerical part of it. As you change the block size, as you change the page and when you organize stuff as a page and block kind of a stuff, then what you see is that overall your memory can operate, overall throughput can be much faster than if they were not arranged like those blocks and stuff like that. Now, erase speed, for example, becomes 8 times faster when you arrange it in a non-sequential manner. See, अगर ये आप इस तरह से ब्लॉक और पेज वाला स्ट्रक्चर नहीं करोगे तो यू विल टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम इन रीड राइट, है ना. सो आपका जो परफॉर्मेंस है दैट इज फास्टर than what you would be able to do it in a NOR flash. Okay, so over here you have very high speed random access, but in a NAND you're able to do overall high speed programming and high speed erasing. Okay, over here the program and erase operations will be very, very slow, but over here if you have to do a random access, then you have to go across with different blocks, that gets degraded. This, as we said, would be used in program memory as a program memory, whereas this would be used as data memory. Okay, so this kind of rounds up the NVM memories for us. We will again touch upon NVM memories when we talk about new kinds of non-volatile memories, but in the next class we will start to look at test infrastructure and test programs for memories. Is that okay?
Sir?
Yes.
I guess sir ने अपनी स्लाइड में भी दिखाया था, जितना मुझे याद आ रहा है. I mean, NOR की जो प्रोग्रामिंग और इरेजिंग होती है, that is done through direct tunneling rather than FN tunneling. Is this the explanation for it being slow, or is there some other reason?
नहीं, यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे जब मेरे को इरेज करना था पूरा का पूरा ब्लॉक एक साथ इरेज हो गया ना.
अच्छा, okay.
It is the organization due to which I am able to erase much faster, program much faster, do all those things much faster for a NAND than for an OR.
But I mean that is a demerit also, in a way कि आप program erase से block कर पा रहे हो, वो नहीं कर पा रहे page by page.
देखो, इसलिए जब हमने कहा कि उसको डेटा मेमोरी की तरह यूज करोगे, तो आपको पता है कि यार आज सबसे छोटी भी आप फाइल उठाओगे तो इतने किलोबाइट की तो होगी.
हाँ, कि एक ब्लॉक साइज के बराबर ही हो जाए.
तो उस तरह की चीज.
ठीक
है ना. आप आज क्या करते हो, आप जब NAND फ्लैश की बात हो रही होती है, ओके, यू हैव वर्ड फाइल्स एंड यू हैव अदर फाइल्स आल्सो, बट मेजरली यू आर वाचिंग बिग फाइल्स. आजकल पावर पॉइंट की फाइल इतनी ह्यूमंगस हो जाती है. आप जब इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग डाउनलोड करते हो अपने मशीन पे, देयर आर सच ह्यूज फाइल्स. तो कहाँ छोटे छोटे के चक्कर में आपको प्रोग्राम करना है, आपको रियली में बड़े पार्ट्स को इरेज करना है और बड़े पार्ट्स को प्रोग्राम करना है. फॉर डेटा मेमोरी NAND flash therefore makes a lot of sense.
And I guess NAND is costlier than NOR, right? Is it why we are not?
It is denser. No. NOR would be slightly costly. NOR की capacity per bit cost of NOR will be higher.
I mean, like, why are we using NOR anyways in the applications? Why can't we replace everything with NAND?
Because, so for example, if I have to store the BIOS information, then I need random access.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
है ना? Because I need random access also.
हाँ जी.
जहाँ पे random access के बिना काम ही नहीं चलेगा, वहाँ पे आप वो यूज करोगे. लेकिन जहाँ पे हार्ड डिस्क को रिप्लेस करना है, you would rather go to a solid state NAND flash. ठीक है? So anything else? Then let's call it a day. I will stop the recording and then see you on Friday. Again, next Wednesday, there's a guest lecture. Please already plan to attend that. Bye-bye.